It's a few minutes after, so people will just continue to join. So hi everybody, my name is Jenna Nilo. I'm the Director of Marketing and Research with Illinois Marketing and Outreach with Illinois Digital Educators Alliance. How are you today? We are here to learn how we can do remote learning with WeVideo. So we have Nathan and Emily from WeVideo who are going to introduce themselves in a minute. Thank you so much for them, to both of them for being here today. Just want to let everybody know we are recording this session. So I will be sending out an email tomorrow with the recording of the session, the chat file, and then any resources, including the slide deck that Nathan and Emily share with us. So that will all come in an email to everybody who's registered here for the webinar today. So definitely keep an eye out for that. We will also house the webinar recording on our website under our Wednesday webinar page. So you can always find all of our webinars there. So definitely you can check this one out and any of the others that we've been doing over however long it's been, even before COVID-19. So we've been doing webinars for quite a while. So thank you for being here today. If you are an Illinois educator, at the end of the session today, I'm going to put the link for your hour PDH. You do get an hour credit, PDH credit for joining us today live. So I am going to put that link in the chat window at the end of the webinar. If you don't mind doing us a favor today, we want Emily and Nathan to have the spotlight. So in just a minute, I'm going to turn my video and turn my video off and mute myself. And then if you can all please keep yourself muted and videos off so that we don't have dogs barking in the background, kids coming in, and not that we don't love all those things, but it just will give Nathan and Emily the chance to shine today. So we appreciate that. However, with that being said, we definitely love, welcome, hope, expect the whole thing interaction with you guys. We love questions and all those good things. So please use that chat feature. If this is your first time on Zoom, at the bottom of your screen, you'll see like a little speech bubble. That's your chat window. So you can go ahead and open that at any point and read what's already been started today and or add your own. So definitely please use that chat feature to interact, ask questions. And then throughout the presentation, Nathan and Emily will be monitoring that. I will as well, just to make sure that nothing gets lost and we get all of your questions answered. With that being said, we are also streaming this live on Facebook. So Nathan, Emily, when I see, and if I see anything come in through Facebook, I'm gonna Wizard of Oz in and ask those questions so that we can get those answered as well. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead, turn myself off, mute myself, and turn things over to Emily and Nathan for today's webinar. Thanks so much.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Jenna. Emily and I are really excited to be here today. I am Nathan. I'm the Chief Education Officer at WeVideo, and I have my friend Emily on today.
I'm Emily. I'm the Product Manager at WeVideo.
And we are both excited to speak with all of you about remote learning with WeVideo. And just to share, before we get started today, in addition to what Jenna had shared, the format, I know that there will be, and we hope there will be a lot of questions today. Emily and I did a webinar yesterday and had a lot of wonderful questions. And so we will take, we'll do a Q&A session or section at the very end of today's webinar, the last 15, 20 minutes. So don't worry if you're like throwing questions into the chat and we're not responding yet. It's because we have some things to share with you first, and we might actually answer your question as we're sharing. And then the last 15 to 20 minutes, I will go through the chat and read the questions out. Either Emily or myself will answer the questions. We also have Andrew. He's gonna hop on a little bit later and share a little bit about the dashboard and the account management side of WeVideo. So that is our format today. And you're seeing, obviously, the title screen. I'm gonna share with you some ideas for classroom use today. And Emily, I'm so excited to see all the fun videos and activities that teachers and students have been doing from home thus far.
I am too, and we've really been keeping our ear to the ground to see all of the amazing things that are coming out of schools and things that teachers are doing, and we've bundled that up together for you to get some inspiration today.
Absolutely, and we are happy to share those things. And you're seeing right now our vision and mission, and our vision hasn't really changed. We have always been about learners expressing ideas with creativity, voice, and empathy to forge deeper learning and impact their world. But we know what has changed is the context for creativity. Instead of asking our students to be creative in the classroom and asking them to reflect on their learning in class, and now they're at home, and now we have given up control finally, right, and are inspiring our students to do wonderful things at home. And so we want to ensure that students are able to use their surroundings to be able to create something new and to still be able to make an impact with their voice. So that is why today we are going to focus on 3 different aspects of WeVideo. One is going to be the student creation aspect of WeVideo. It's going to be how are students using our platform and these tools to enhance their learning at home. We're also going to look at the teacher-created aspect. How can teachers create mini lessons or instructional videos from home, and give you some tips about how you can create those instructional videos. And then we are going to look at the creative side, the actual, the nuts and bolts of the platform. And so Emily is going to give you a deep dive into how do you build a video, and whether you're building a video for the very first time or you've been with WeVideo for a few years now and you're looking at some new and inspiring ideas, we welcome you to be a part of the fun today. And we are going to start with our student-created videos. And the wonderful thing about our platform is that students of any age, from kindergarten all the way up to high school, can use the platform. And I love the way I've seen students create book trailers, create weather forecasts, share the news through a school endorsed or school created news program. But even in the daily classroom use, like reflecting on the main idea of a text that they're reading, or being able to show multiple solution paths, or be able to do a number talk using WeVideo. So there are many different ways that students have been able to create their own learning using WeVideo. The first kind of student-created video I want to share with you is called the explainer video. Now, an explainer video is essentially like it sounds. It's a video that explains how to do something. And we want our students to be the creators of their learning. We want them to be the teachers, right? And so during this time of a quarantine where we're in our house, or maybe we're limited to just our yard, we're asking students to get outside in your backyard, or walk out to the mailbox and look around you. What's inspiring to you? What do you notice? And with spring coming up and with brand new blooms and with green starting to pop up, one of the videos that you're seeing here that I made was around St. Patrick's Day, and it was around why we see green. And so a student would be able to share some science concepts about chlorophyll and about the electromagnetic spectrum, and be able to essentially take pictures or video of things outside and then create an explanation, their own explanation of what's happening and why we see green, for example. And so, Emily, I'd love to hear more about applications and other classroom uses or virtual classroom uses you've seen for explainer videos.
Yeah, and I really think it's cool using the idea of using your surroundings, because that's all we have right now.
Yes.
And I've seen other students go into their backyard and do a photo documentary, video documentary on the wildlife that they see out there. So insects, different types of plants, changes in weather. I've also seen students create their first compost pile. So describing what are they doing and how is it changing over time as things decompose. And I've also seen students do baking videos. So there's a fun element of doing like a cooking show, but they're also using math and talking about fractions and how they're using ingredients.
Emily, when you were talking about the compost piles, I was thinking, I don't know if I want to show anybody my compost pile. I live out in the country, up in Maine, and we compost, and there are lots, we use lots of eggs, so there are lots of eggshells and fruit rinds, and so it's not a pretty sight, but I know I'm helping the environment, so I will spare everyone an explainer video of my compost. Well, thank you, Emily, for sharing some more uses. And let's go on to our next student-created video, which is a book trailer. And book trailers are ways to make reading more engaging and more fun. And you've heard of the book report, the standard book report, and obviously we've grown up doing book reports, and maybe you still assign book reports. And if you've ever wondered, how can we get students to be more engaged in their reading and be able to take the picture that they've crafted in their mind? Because when we read, we all create our own mental map and mental picture of what's happening. And so to be able to reflect on that and be able to create an experience and using the fun elements of WeVideo to create a book trailer. So it's essentially like a movie trailer you've created, but it's based on either a fictional text you're reading or a nonfiction information text that you're reading. And you're seeing an example of a book trailer I created based on a fiction novel I'm reading right now called The Wheel of Time. And so Emily, I have a lot of fun. I think book trailers are one of my favorite videos to create with the WeVideo.
Yeah, and I had a chance to watch the full version of your book trailer here, and I was really impressed by it. All of the footage you have here and the cinematic music and sound effects. I'm curious, how were you able to gather all of this content?
Well, I'd love to say that I have, really fancy high-tech cameras and being able to capture all of this, but I don't have that. And not only do I not have the equipment, I don't have the movie directing background or the time to create all that. So the good news is, and not many of us do, right? So the good news is that within the WeVideo platform, we have stock media, over 1 million different assets of video, audio, stills. And so I was able to create this whole video without actually using any of my own media. Now, of course, there will be times where I want to use my own media and pictures, but for this, I wanted to create a Hollywood style video. So that's why I chose to use the stock media. It's really high quality stock media. And I've heard a lot of comments from teachers saying that the audio is like killer. Like, people really, really love the audio because they feel like they're in a theater.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's no better time to take a field trip, a virtual field trip, than now, because we are all stuck at home. We can't go anywhere. And maybe our spring breaks were canceled. Maybe our summer plans have changed. And so, but we still want to explore, and we still want to be creative storytellers. And so with WeVideo and with our friends over at Google, we can still do that with our virtual field trips. And so I created a virtual field trip video on a trip to Paris. Now, I didn't actually go to Paris. Again, I was able to use some stock media from WeVideo's platform that has many, like the pictures you're seeing now, of the Notre Dame and the Louvre and the Eiffel Tower, and all those things were in WeVideo. But I also was able to look at the street view from Google Earth, or the flyover view from Google Earth, and was able to create a virtual field trip. And so, I mean, Emily, I can't think of a better time than now in our remote learning days to ask students to be virtual world travelers.
Yeah, and I've seen so many cool examples of Google Earth use cases with WeVideo. There's one teacher who has a lot of first and second generation students, and she had her students go to their hometowns or their parents' hometowns on Google Earth and record what they're seeing and talk through stories. And it's just really cool because some of those students hadn't been back home for a long time or have never seen where their parents grew up. I've also seen some use cases with math teachers. So they have students measure the distance between home and school, or calculate the rooftop area of their house, comparing it to other students. So being able to screen record in WeVideo and and show and talk about what they're seeing and thinking in Google Earth is really cool.
I totally agree. Love Google Earth, and I'm excited about taking my next virtual field trip. I think I'm going to do maybe Stonehenge or someplace in England, I think, next. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so those are just a few examples of some student-created videos. Now I'm going to switch it over to the day in the life of a teacher in remote learning. And you're creating these wonderful activities and these ideas for engaging students, and it's really important that we still provide opportunities to learn. And you might want to create a mini lesson, or maybe you want to model a read aloud or a think aloud for your students. Well, you can do that through WeVideo. And one of the things I love about with WeVideo is that there are asynchronous opportunities for learning. What that means is that you're not asking students to jump in live. You're not asking them to get to meet at this particular time. With a teacher-created video, you can create the video, share it with students, and the students are able to reflect and respond on their own time, because we don't know the environments and the scenarios that our students are in right now. So let's take a look at some of these teacher-created videos. So the first one is the read aloud. And the read aloud is one of my favorite of our brand new templates. This one was released just a couple of weeks ago, if even that. And it allows teachers to read a book and be able to have a picture-in-picture effect if you so wish. And so what that means is that when you're reading and you're showing pictures of the book or pages of the book, you can have on the background, as you're seeing here, the actual book pages, and you can stop the video and ask different questions, because as you know, during a read aloud, we're not just reading a book, we're pausing, we're asking about the characters and what the characters are thinking about, we're asking about the purpose of the book, we're asking about how would we feel, or you know, what would happen if the ending changed. And so we want to still do that with our students. We still want to model effective reading and model what skilled readers do when they read a book. And Emily, I've already seen a lot of wonderful read alouds already. I think it's our popular template right now, our most popular template right now.
Yeah, it is one of our most popular ones, and it's I think it really speaks to the power of these types of videos. They're so simple to make, but they really make an impact because students can see their teacher, and I know a lot of them are missing their teachers right now, but they're they're also able to connect to the material, to get engaged with those prompts, those thinking stems that we'll show you later that are in the template. Absolutely.
And a good segue into our next template and idea with missing our students and missing our teachers. And this is especially a very challenging time where students need to have that connection with our teachers. And we've always known that the social emotional aspect of learning is very, very important, and has never been as important, I believe, as it is today. And so with the morning meeting template, you are able to hold a virtual morning meeting with your students, but in an asynchronous way. So you are greeting your students, you have your message for your students, you have an activity that you'd like them to consider, and you're sharing that with them. And the beauty about this is that they can view the video in their own time. You can embed mini prompts, asking students to notice things throughout the day, checking in with their well-being, how they're feeling, and then ask students to respond either through like direct message through your LMS or through email, or maybe even have them send a video back. And so, Emily, again, this is another one of our brand new templates that we've seen a lot of action with.
Yeah, we just released this last Friday, and we're seeing a lot of our teachers use it already. And the morning meeting is when I was a teacher, so fundamental to our routine, and being able to create these videos so quickly and get that touch point in with your students is really awesome.
Agreed. So our last video today is, or sorry, our last idea for our teacher created videos is there are many lessons. And Emily in a second is going to show you some of the ins and outs of the editor itself and how you can take some of these screen casting features, which is really a really wonderful way of showing your thinking. And so you're seeing right now a math tutorial video that I did. I was explaining how I came to my solution path for a math problem. And so as a teacher, you want to create very short, clear, concise videos and being able to show them your solution path and multiple solution paths, because again, that's what math's about. And you're able to capture your solution as you are working the problem out on the screen. And then of course you can do the picture-in-picture effect, which Emily will show you, how they can see you teaching and see your face, but also see the screen behind you. And I think that these mini lessons will be really the next trend in remote learning. Right now we're seeing a lot of open-ended kind of projects, but I think the next step is going to be more of this teacher-created mini lessons, 5 to 7 minutes, sending those to students. There are thinking stems in those mini lessons, and then students would respond back to the teacher with their ideas. So those are our teacher creative video ideas. Andrew has jumped in and he is going to share with you about the dashboard. There he is with his cool owl background. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen so Andrew can show you the dashboard there.
How's it going, everybody? I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right now. Let's see. All right, do you guys see the dashboard okay?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So when you log into your WeVideo account, this is what you're going to see. The dashboard is basically the home screen. And what you can expect to find is that you're going to have different tabs at the top, and that's how you're going to navigate throughout your account. So for example, depending on the role that you have, this is what you might have at the top. I have the admin role with my account, so that's why I have the templates and admin tab. If you don't have the admin role and you're a teacher, you may have just the groups tab, or if you're a student, you would have just the 4, dashboard, projects, media, and exports. So when you log in, depending on your role, you're gonna have different types of tabs at the top. But you'll always have this main area here where you can create a new video or a recording, or choose from a template, and you'll have your recent edits. Now what recent edits are, this is basically anything that you're currently working on in a really easily accessible way. So as soon as you log in, you can easily access anything you're currently working on just by the click of a button. You log in, hover over it, and then you can click edit to jump right into it. And creating new content is easy as well. You would just click one of these icons up here. So just keep in mind the dashboard, it's pretty much the home screen. So when you log in, it's just easy access to existing content or creating new content. Now the projects tab, this is where you're going to be doing collaboration and just creating projects in general. So if you click the blue plus icon at the bottom right, you'll notice that there's 3 different project types. And they all have their own use cases. It depends on the kind of collaboration tools that you want to use. So for example, with a personal project, you won't necessarily share that with anybody. That's just for yourself. Like if you want to create an instructional video or a morning announcement, personal project would be the way to go. Now, if you want to use a collaborative or shared project, that would be used primarily for when you want students to work together, or if you want to work with students or work with other teachers and collaborate on the project together. So just as an example, when you go into a collaborative project, it could look something like this. And as you can see in the created by column, I have student 1 account, student 2 account, teacher account. And basically this is the view that I have as well as the students. So everybody can see everyone else's edits and can access all the content. So for example, student 1 can create the cats video, and then student 2 can not only look at it, but also go into it as well and make changes. So it's a really collaborative environment where everyone has access to everyone else's content. And a third project type is shared. Now with the shared project, I as the teacher or whoever created the assignment, you would see everyone's content. So I see student 1 account, student 2 account, but the difference is that when the student views it, it's going to be a different view. So as you can see here, I'm logged in the student 1's account in the different browser, and I only see my own edits. So basically, if you have a shared project, it's a way for you to have a central location for everyone's content, but they're not going to see each other's work. So the different project types is just a way for you to really manage the kind of collaboration you want and how private you want the projects to be. Now, the Media tab, this is where you're going to be managing any content that you're going to import. So besides the Essentials library, which is what Nathan mentioned earlier, the million media clips of stock footage, of course, you're going to want to use your own content, and you're going to import that in the Media tab. So this blue plus icon right here will prompt you with a pop-up, and this is how you're going to select the source that you want to import from. So if you want to do browse to select, that's a great way. You can just import from a device. So for example, if you're on a Mac or a PC and you have something in your documents or downloads folder, you could just select from here to import from there. But if you're on a Chromebook, for example, or if you have your content on Google Drive or Dropbox or OneDrive, what you can do is sign into any of those external sources, and it'll allow you to basically just pull the content from there and import it directly to your Media tab. So there's a lot of different ways that you can import media, whether it's from your device or an external source, but it's really quick and easy to add content to your account. You would just select it here in the Media tab and go on right in. And you can also access the Media tab from within the editor, and Emily will show you that more later within the editor, but in general, adding media is a very simple task. And the Share with Everyone tab, this allows you to add media so that everyone in the organization can access it. So My Media is just for your account, whereas Shared with Everyone, this is a way for anybody, whether it's a student or teacher, to access content that you add into here. So you can make it easily accessible for everyone. The Exports tab, this is where you're going to have all of your finished content. So each video that's finalized is called an export, and it'll have its own individual unique URL like this at the top. And so if you want to share a finished video, you can just share that URL with somebody. You can also share it to Google Classroom by selecting this icon. You can download it to your computer and share it that way. But when you want to share this link, this lock icon is how you can change the privacy. So it's important to make sure it's public so that anybody with the link can view it. Because if it's private, then they won't have access unless they're signed into your account. And last but not least is the Admin tab. And this is where you're going to be managing all of your licenses and users. So the Admin Members tab, this is going to give you a rundown of who is in your organization with information such as their name, email, date of activity, and even how much storage is used. And if you want to get into more details, you can actually click into a user to view their profile, and it'll show you all of their finished videos, all the projects they're working on, the various groups that they're a part of. So the Admin Members tab is a way for you to have a lot of insight on what's going on in your organization, just so you can stay up to date on all the activity. And add members, we have 5 different ways for how you can add users into your organization. All of them are great. It just depends on the kind of use case that you have. So for example, if you have one student that you're trying to add in, you can give them the invite code or registration link, and basically they can just use that to join your organization and consume a license. But these other 3 methods are more commonly used for bulk adding. So for example, what you can do is sync your Google G Suite, and then basically anybody that is in an OU that you have selected will be joining your organization as soon as they click login with Google. So it's a single sign-on method that automates all the adding, and it's really convenient. So all these methods, we have documents and articles and videos that show you how to use them more. This is just a brief overview of what's available. So if you have any questions, we are doing a Q&A later. And we also have a lot of resources that are available for you to use. So don't get afraid if you look at this and it seems like a lot. You can get the hang of it pretty quickly once you start using it, and with all the help of our resources as well. Next up is the Admin Settings tab. And what this is it's just a way for you to modify the permissions for each role. So for example, if you want to make it so that students cannot import from Facebook, or you don't want them to modify any privacy or download content, you can set those restrictions. Whereas with the Admin or Teacher tab, you can make it so that there's no restrictions. So you can have a lot of control over what goes on in your organization by the Admin Settings tab, because that's how you can modify permissions based on the role. And the last thing I'm going to cover is the Groups tab. And if you're the teacher, then the Groups tab will just be up here. Whereas if you're an admin, it'll be in the Admin tab. But either way, it's going to go to the same section where you can modify the groups. And groups is a way for you to organize your users together. So for example, let's say you have a large district account and you want to organize based on different schools or different classrooms, groups is a great way for you to organize, because in a group, you can create projects and have a centralized location for all the finished videos. So it's just another way for you to organize your content. And it's a really helpful way to decipher between different schools and classrooms and projects. And that's it for the account overview. And I'm on the support team, so if you have any questions, you can always contact us at support@wevideo.com, and we can answer any questions and help you out with anything you may need help with.
Yeah, Andrew, there was a question in the chat about talking with support, and I let them know that you manage that account. So when they contact support, it's most likely you or a couple of your teammates that'll be answering. And we get right to the email and are able to address any kind of questions you have. So thanks, Andrew, for popping in and sharing that. And again, if you have questions about your account or need support, just support@wevideo.com is your easiest and quickest way to get a solution. All right, thank you, Andrew. Emily, how about we dive into our video editor?
Yes, let's do that. I am going to share my screen. Okay, do you see my screen?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to demo how to make 4 types of videos today. They will be the read aloud, the morning meeting, virtual field trip, and book trailers / explainer videos. So let's start with the read aloud video. So this is my dashboard, and here I have templates that I can choose from. So I'm going to click on the read aloud one. And that's going to take me into the editor, with the editor already pre-populated with elements that'll help you create your read aloud. So this is my timeline here, and I have these different tracks where I put audio and text clips where I can put text or video clips. So I'll give you a tour of what is in this template. Here we have an opening. We have some placeholder content of someone reading, but that's where you'll put yours. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that one out. We have prompts and thinking stems. So as your students are watching your video, you can add these prompts and have them pause and reflect and answer these questions. Another placeholder, which I will delete, and another thinking stem, and then an ending. So I will show you how to use this template. Any of these clips you can click into, and there's more options for customizing it. So let's say you are reading The Busy Spider. Save that. And then I go to the My Media tab, and you see this button here called Record. And I'll choose the webcam because I'm just going to record my camera and with my imaginary book reading. So I press start recording. I'm getting ready, and you can imagine I'm reading my book to my students here and so on, and then I press stop. You can preview it here and record again if you want to do it again, but let's say you're happy with it, press save, and it puts it wherever your playhead was. So I'm going to bring it to the beginning, and if I was reading an actual book, this would be a much longer video clip, and I'll show you how to split it. So let's say you want to split it right in the middle because you want to put in a prompt for your students to pause and reflect, and then you just put that in between and you put your other video there. And you can just drag these it's also really easy to shorten and lengthen clips. So if you want this text slide to just be 3 seconds versus a 15-second pause, you can do that. These are sound effects that are fun that we've put in there for you, but you can change them if you want, but I'll just play as a sample. Hopefully it comes through okay. And you can imagine I'm reading my book. So this is fun to play with once you guys get in there. I will show you now the second video, which is the morning meeting video. So going back to the dashboard, there's another template here called morning meeting. Click on that to open it up. And I'll give you a tour of what's here. So we have 4 sections in this morning meeting template. The introduction, which is a greeting that you can give. Then the second section is about sharing, so offering some sort of prompt. And here we have, what did you do this weekend? The teacher shares and then encourages the student to share. The third section is the morning activity, so something that the student can do along with you while watching the video. Here it's about sharing about what's your weather, and the teacher shares she's feeling sunny because, and then encourages the student to also think about how they're doing. And then the fourth section is the morning message. And so this is an opportunity to highlight what's going to be a focus of the day and give a message to your student. So similarly, this video track here there's placeholders which you can remove, and then just like I showed you in the first one, you can record your message. You can do it all in one go and then split it and lay it out in your timeline. And all of these things are customizable. So if you need to move around your text box, for example, change the message, colors, all of that, you can adjust. These video clips, if you don't want this seen, you can remove it. And you can choose from all sorts of clips here. This is what Nathan was talking about, the 100 million pieces of stock content, and you can add them in there. Okay, I will show you now the third type of video, which is the virtual field trip. And I have here open on another tab. It's not Google Earth, it's Google Arts and Culture, but it's another type of way to go on a virtual field trip. This is really cool. This is the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam, and people are able to visit the museum by going to this website. So let's say you want to show your students how to use that website, or you could be a student going on the virtual field trip and recording and describing what you're seeing and thinking. So this button here takes you straight to being able to do a recording. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to choose screen and webcam recording so I can record my camera and also the screen at the same time. So you pick your camera and then you pick which screen you want to record. So I'm going to go to application window and pick that Van Gogh Museum tab. I click share, and it's counting down. Okay, now it's recording. So I'm here doing my virtual field trip, talking about it, expressing thoughts on these paintings, and all the while it's recording my camera and my voice talking as well. When I'm done, I click stop sharing. I go back to WeVideo and I see the preview, which I can watch. And if I'm happy with it, I click save. And you can see that it has populated over here into our timeline. And this is adjustable, so it automatically resized the webcam recording for me, but I can go in there and make it bigger or smaller. I can put it in different areas if I want. And then that was the recording, but you can, let's say you want to add a title to your field trip. I'll add another track. And I can drag a title in here. And I will type in my trip to the Van Gogh Museum. And if I wanted to add music, I can go to the stock library, and I'm seeing flowers, so let's see what comes up with flowers. And I'm going to just select for audio. And there's so many cool things to choose from. I see a waltz here. Sounds good to me, so I just drag that into the audio. And we get this question a lot, is how do you fade in and out? So, and what I just did there, if you saw things change, I just zoomed in and out on my timeline just so I could see the whole picture of it. To fade in and out, you see this blue line on the audio track. If you click points on it, it creates points where you can drag the audio up or down. So here what you see is the audio going up, and then it's at its loudest and then fading out. So that is how you can do a virtual field trip and also use the dual screen and webcam recording. Okay, I'm going to show you the fourth and last video that you can make. And let's go back to the dashboard and click on the video button here. And that'll bring you into a blank timeline edit. And this is the book trailer or explainer video. So we've already got a sneak peek of the stock library here, but let's say you wanted to make a book trailer on Romeo and Juliet. You can search for all sorts of things. I searched for Verona, where I believe it took place. And these clips are very easy just to drag into your timeline. Let's search for balcony. Cool. And then I want to add a title. So let's find one. There are many to choose from, which you can preview just by clicking on the clip. I'm looking for one that feels kind of movie-like. This one's nice. So just like you saw before, you can edit and add in your text. And you can also reposition, so the text wasn't really showing up with that, with a sky over there, so you can move that. And This tab here is transitions. So if you want to have an effect between clips, you can choose one of these. And I'll just choose these, and then you put them in between your clips like that. And one thing that is really useful, especially for explainers and book trailers, is the narration tool. So let's say you get all your clips ready and then you want to talk about the story. You can click on narrate. And I'm going to preview while recording. So what that means is I'm watching the video that I've put together. So I'm recording over it. I press that button and it gives me a countdown. And now I'm doing my narration, talking about this book and so on. When I'm done, I press stop. And then that'll add it directly to my timeline. And so you see the voiceover is here. And I can move this around. So if I actually wanted it to start later, I can move that around. And you can also clip these, split them. So let's say I actually want my voiceover to start there for that one and this one in the beginning. When I am done with my video, oh, actually, I want to show you one more thing. If I imported, if for example, some people like to take footage from their camera phones, from their phones, you can import other files through here directly from your computer, just drag and drop. Or if you have other things attached like Google Drive, for instance, you can import from Google Drive. Okay, so when you are ready and finished with your video, you just click finish and give it a title. And here you can select your resolution. You can also, if you only had audio, you can also just do audio only. We have a lot of people who use this feature to create podcasts. So when you are done, you just click export and it will render your video. It will create that URL link that Andrew showed us so you can share it out, and that's it. So I'll stop there, and I think we'll go to questions.
Yeah, Emily, fantastic job. And while you were doing some amazing demos, we have had some questions come through. So actually, if you're okay with sharing your screen again, I've already promised them that you're going to show some things. So I hope you're ready. No, so we've had some questions about. We'll start with the easy one first, with renaming tracks. So with the template, there's already tracks that are named. Of course, that's what makes the template easy. So what if you want to add more tracks or rename tracks that are there, and so forth?
Yeah, so the template does have it named. That's to help you see what these tracks could be for, but that's customizable. So I'm back in that template, and I just deleted the name of that track and I'm renaming it. If you want to add more tracks, you just click that plus button and you can add a video track or an audio track. There adds another track.
Awesome. We have a couple of questions about your own media and like creating your own folders. Can I create folders within the WeVideo platform? And then also a similar question, can they delete files out of their media once they have incorporated them into a video and exported it?
Yes, so you can see here, here's my media, and I have different folders. So if you click this, if you hover over this plus button down here on the corner, you can add a new folder. And so here's my new folder, and I can bring in different files there. And you can delete. So if I right click, I can click delete. And delete out files that I don't need anymore.
Awesome. Thank you. Some more questions about, can you see the estimated file size between or before choosing SD versus HD?
Not beforehand, but I believe when you click into the finished video, you can see the sizes. So you see down here that metadata. So you can get it after it gets rendered.
That's a great question. Can you show the chroma key? We've had questions about if they don't have a green screen, can they still do the green screen effect? And so I have put in the chat, as long as you have a solid color background that contrasts the color that the person is wearing, or contrast the person in the video, you can. So can you show how that works?
Yeah, and there are, if you didn't want to take your own footage, there's some really cool clips that you could use. So I just typed in green screen, and then let me get a clip ready to go. So I'm going to have this curtain open up on this elephant. But let's get rid of that green. So how you do that is you click into the clip. This icon here is for the chroma key green screen. You click on the dropper. You select the color you want to remove. In this case, it is green, but like Nathan mentioned, it could be any color to remove. And there it shows the elephant.
So super cool and so super easy.
Yep.
Can you tell us about the file being saved? So whenever you're saving your file, the question is it using space on your hard drive?
So what's really cool about being a cloud-based video editor is everything is stored in the cloud. So it's not using your computer storage. The only time you would be using your computer storage if you were to download it. So let's open up one of these, and this button, if you download it, that's going to download it to your computer.
Yeah, I love the fact that whenever you're exporting, you can choose where it goes. And if you use an LMS like Google Classroom, you can have it go, and I can see there, thank you for showing the icon right there. If your Google Classroom's already linked, like yours is there, it goes directly into it. So I love having those options even as you're exporting it, and then of course after you export it. So what if you don't know exactly where to go when you're finishing the video? Later on, you can choose where you want to send it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. I think we may have gotten through our questions. I answered some questions as you were doing the demo too. So it looks like we have gone through our questions. So, which is good because we are almost out of time. I am going to show you where you can go if you are looking for additional support, if you're looking at where you can connect with others during remote learning or anytime really. And so right now I'm showing you the WeVideo creator community. And Emily, are you seeing my creator community? Okay, good deal.
Yes,
all right. And so Jeremy is our community manager, and he loves to interact with educators, and he's very, very active in the community. So please go on over to the community and join it. We have hundreds of educators there sharing ideas, communicating, connecting, camaraderie, all kinds of fun things there. And then if you need more resources, go to the remote learning tab, and there are many different, I love the Academy tab because it has a lot of ideas and videos. So if you forget how to add members or upload media or add projects, you can find videos on how to do that. So that's one of my favorite buttons there in the remote learning page. There's an educator guide, there's an ideas hub. You click on ideas hub and you can find many different inspiration ideas, like templates that you can use. And a lot of these ideas are ones that have been created by our teachers and lesson plans from teachers who have used this in the classroom. So please check us out there online. Also, we're on social media. Our handle is @WeVideo. If you want to connect with me on Twitter, I'm @drlang-raad. And if you can think of any more questions, feel free to contact either of us. Again, our email, if you have any questions about using our WeVideo editor, you can just email support@wevideo.com, and they are really quick to help you there. And on behalf of WeVideo and our team here, and Emily, we just want to thank you for joining us today, and we're excited to see what you and your students create.
That was fantastic, you guys. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
If you don't mind putting up your presentation, and I think there were 2 more slides, maybe.
Oh, yes.
1 or 2 more.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to start playing with it.
Yeah, absolutely. We have people already telling me they're on there right now playing with and creating videos. So.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So just real quick before we go, I wanted to let everybody know, if you haven't been on there, go ahead and check out bit.ly, bit.ly/idea, all caps, _home learning. That is IDEA's webpage where we're housing all of these resources that we've been putting out for you, links, resources, videos, the whole thing, since this whole remote learning thing started several weeks ago. So that is just a fantastic place to check out. I also mentioned earlier our Wednesday webinar page on our website. I think it's 1 or 2 under the home learning tab on our website. And also all of the videos that we've been doing with partners like WeVideo and others who are just telling you how to use these phenomenal resources, so many of which are offered free right now because of COVID-19. So definitely check those out. And if you go to the next one, we have sessions all week that we are running. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're running 3 webinars a day where you could get those PDHs that I talked about earlier today. So check out the calendar. It's fresh every week with what we're running. We're running virtual coaching sessions. We're running sessions with Apple, Google, and Microsoft experts, and then obviously webinars with partners like this. We've also got Facebook Live things going all week. So all kinds of opportunities for you to connect with your PLN, connect with others, and earn those PDHs for free, which is awesome right now. So I'm going to throw a few links in here in the chat window right now. I'm going to put that link for, this is our link for registering for events. If you're interested in that, I'm going to throw in that home learning link as well. And then most importantly for you folks, see how I keep you all the way up to the last minute, I'm going to throw in the link for the PDH. So go ahead and click on that bit.ly for the PDHs for today. If it's not clickable, on my end it doesn't look clickable, so I don't know what's going on your guys' end, but if it's not clickable, please go ahead and copy and paste that URL. There's a Google form, then I think like a back and forth with another Google form or 2, and we'll get you that credit for being here. You do need to do it before midnight today, because then we turn the form off, and it's just our way of showing ISB who attended today. So that's it. So definitely fill that out. Thanks so much for everybody who attended today, Nathan, Emily, and Andrew, who's off camera now. Thank you so much. Phenomenal. And like I said, I think everybody's ready to get started and play.
Awesome. Thank you for the opportunity. We look forward to staying connected with all of you.
Awesome. Thank you.
So much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.